So I'll start with number one, and number one is the rank of Victoria stated in per capita trips by bicycle in Canada. No other city comes close. This is from the 2006 census, and the next closest city is Courtenay, and then after that Kingston and Saskatoon, which sort of discounts the impact of weather. They have fairly high cycling mode shares, but we have about triple the level. 14.6 million. The number of trips by bicycle annually in the capital region, and that's extrapolating from a CRD origin and destination study. So it's not a trifling amount. We do have a fairly significant share of the travel market, and it does add up to a fairly big number. 40,000, the number of daily bike trips in the capital region, and that's measured over the entire region, not just the center of town, but you know, the capital region reaches out to Salt Spring Island and Port Renfrew, so I'm sure not a lot of those daily commute trips are coming in from Port Renfrew every day. 1.3 million cars and trucks. That's the resident vehicle trips per day in the capital region. So we have a long uphill struggle to convert a lot of those trips to sustainable modes, but we're certainly working at it. 60%, and Irwin will have a bit of quibble with that, because that's the share of greenhouse gas emissions, give or take, from cars and trucks in the capital region. It actually should say from mobile sources, and that comes from some provincial statistics. So we have a fairly high or big problem with transportation as a greenhouse gas source in the capital region. Other cities, more industrialized cities, the greenhouse gas emissions tend to come from other sources, but transportation is the big one in the capital region. 20 tons, that would be the savings in daily greenhouse gas emissions attributable to the shifts to bicycle trips. And that's just extrapolating again from CRD numbers on what's the average trip length of bicycles, and sort of adding it up to how far they'll go in a year, and comparing that to what vehicles do. So some of these numbers are extrapolation, so it's plus or minus, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. 35 to 40, the percentage of urban land dedicated to the movement and storage of cars and trucks. And that's a pattern around North America. Each car that people owns generally will have 6 to 8 parking spaces allocated to it. You've got one at home, you've got one at work, you've got the shopping center, you've got the various metered parking spaces, the doctor's office, the rec center. But every car gets 6 to 8 homes, as it were. 7.7%, we're going back to the good stuff. That is the actual share of afternoon commuter traffic. In 40%. That would be the growth in bicycle trip for all purposes in the CRD from 2001 to 2006. They'll be doing another study in 2011, and if that pattern continues to hold, we'll see another dramatic increase in the numbers that are coming up in terms of bicycle traffic in the region. So about 8% a year for all trip purposes, and a growth of about 5% a year for commute trip purposes. 9,000, and this is from the Canada census. That's the number of regular bicycle commuters in the census metropolitan area. So those are people that record themselves on a census long form as riding regularly or every day. So that's a good chunk of numbers. That's a lot of calories consumed. That's why we need local food. 1,500. That's the number of cyclists who have taken bike to work skills courses through Bike to Work Week not only are we growing cycling as a transportation choice, we're teaching people to ride safely and responsibly. And I know some folks out there who walk regularly don't always see the evidence of that, but we are improving the skill set. And cyclists are pretty well behaved, present company notwithstanding, out there on the road. 715 an hour. Now, where might you think that might be? That would be the maximum recorded flow of bicycle traffic on the Galloping Goose. Not necessarily at the Johnson Street Bridge, but I think it was probably at the Switch Bridge over by Town and Country, which is recorded during Bike to Work Week. That's a lot of traffic. 2,000 to 5,000. That would be the average daily user counts on the Galloping Goose. Greater Victoria Cycling Coalition folks have put together a very nice graph of the pattern of bicycle traffic at various places, and we are getting close to the end here, showing the seasonal variations. Demand for bicycle travel is somewhat elastic. It's very strong in Victoria, but it goes up and down depending on the season or the location, the weather, things like that. 17 kilometers, another important number because traffic is going to change in the capital region, at least for cyclists and pedestrians. That will be the length of the new E&N rail trail under construction that will connect downtown to Langford at Goldstream Park. And that's going to have a dramatic impact on increasing the number of cyclists. 14 kilometers. That would be the piece of the trail that is now under threat by a Colwood development. So we don't want that particular one to happen. And 4,000, that would be probably the peak daily flow of traffic over the Johnson Street Bridge, as opposed to the average daily flow. But very high number, and again, as you're planning transportation, you want to plan for the maximum. And that's likely in May, June, or September. 400, that would be the percentage increase in Portland bridge crossings after they added bicycle accommodations to some of their major bridges. Again, as you improve infrastructure, you have a dramatic impact on the demographic of who chooses to cycle and growing the numbers. 3 million and 800 million, that would be the cycling infrastructure funding from the province of BC versus what they're planning to spend on road capital works in 2011. The number of the capital projects goes down a bit in subsequent years, but it is a very imbalanced system. And that's my parting shot. Again, with the first slide, we did start out, and I will blow my own horn a bit. I am still working for Victoria City Council, and if we want to change the dynamic of how transportation works, this is a very key location in the region. It's the confluence of our trail system. It doesn't work well for cyclists there, notwithstanding that those that are determined to get across do. And when we change that, we're going to have a dramatic impact on how people look at cycling as transportation, and we're going to grow the numbers. And it's something we need to do to meet the objectives we have, not only under our growth strategy, but our responsibility to future generations to make this planet more sustainable. So thanks a lot.